So you want to hear a story? A story about pirates, treasure hunters, tragedy, hardships and betrayal. Well, have I got the story for you? This is the story of the Valkyries. But first, we need to set the setting. We can't have a good story without knowing where this is taking place now, can we? Welcome to the Eve universe. In the vast distant future of the Earth, mankind has ravaged the planet of its natural resources, which forces them to colonize far into the distant quadrants of the galaxy, ever spreading outwards. Despite this massive expansion outwards, there was a discovery. A discovery of a wormhole, leading to an entirely different galaxy, which in turn became known as New Eden. It saw humanity working together, researching this new anomaly, and eventually stabilizing the intergalactic bridge between our world and the new, so that we could spread ever further out into the universe. New Eden was especially interesting as the cluster of stars was so close and many worlds were colonizable instantly. But not all good fortune is made to last. Very suddenly and catastrophically, the Eve Gateway collapsed, trapping those colonies of New Eden on the other side, cutting them off from Earth, its colonies, and everything they held dear entirely. Many of these colonies did not survive the disaster, as a majority of New Eden was still reliant on the resources from the other side of the wormhole. But others, over the course of the ages, survived, regrouped, and developed into whole new civilizations. 21,000 years from now, 4 factions survived from the event. The collapse of the New Eden Gate, which crippled everybody on the New Eden side of the wormhole in 8061 AD, this is now their home. But don't make any mistake, this is not a universe of peace and love. When the 4 factions made space travel a reality again, they had forgotten the times of the past. And it was a cruel fate of the galaxy that when they did eventually meet, believing they were the only humans in existence, and with all 4 diverging so differently over the course of time, there was conflict, and inevitably, war. The Amarr Empire. The Amarr diverged into a highly religious and authoritarian imperial state, with at the mainstay of the empire are 6 royal families who rule over the entire empire. Though not without one true ruler, above all the 6 families sits the Amarr Empress, ruling over her domain with absolute authority. The Empress and royal families rule for centuries, due to their long-established use of cyber implants. During the darkness after the Eve collapse, they wasted no time enslaving other nations, to the point where they are now the largest faction in New Eden. The Caldari State. The Caldari are an extreme capitalist and militaristic powerhouse. Run by 8 massive megacorporations, the Caldari State is at the center of technology and commerce in the Star Cluster. Their whole society is run by many corporations who sell their services to the citizens of the state. The Caldari are not the largest faction in New Eden, however their military muscle and strong economy make them a force not to mess with. The Gallente Federation. The Gallente Federation encompasses several races. The Gallenteans are one of the largest by far and most advanced. The Federation is democratic and very liberal in a world full of dictators and oligarchies. The Caldari State was once a part of the Federation, but a severe dispute resulted in their departure and a long war between the Gallente Federation and the Caldari State. The Gallenteans are the masters of pleasure and entertainment, and their rich trade empire has given the world many of its glorious and extravagant sights. One of the 4 main power blocks of Eve, discounting the Jove, who are a special case, coincidentally, each of the Empire, Federation, Republic and State coincides with one of the races. This isn't exactly coterminous as a 5th of the Minmatar race resides within the Gallente Federation. The Minmatar Republic. The Minmatar Republic was formed over a century ago when the Matari overthrew the Amarrian overlords in what is known as the Minmatar Rebellion. The Matari had the support of the Gallente Federation, and to this day, the 2 nations remain very close allies. yet only a quarter of the Minmatar people reside within the Republic. Based chiefly on the Sebestia tribe, the Brutal tribe, and the Valkyrie tribe, the rest are scattered around the galaxy, including a large portion still enslaved within the Amar Empire like the Nefanta tribe, also known as the Amatar. Minmatar individuals are independent and proud, possessing a strong will and a multitude of tribal traditions. Some tribes have never been a part of the Republic and can even be considered partially outlaws, like the Thankyou tribe. Well, now we have the universe of New Eden set. Now let's have a look at Valkyrie. So let's get back to the Caldari State we were talking about earlier. Well, two of their most promising naval captains, Jirai Laitanen and Kurako Kiskami, deserted their posts and formed their own faction of pirates known as the Guristas, who proceeded to go on a spree of ship raiding, theft, and sabotage, much to the disgruntlement of the Caldari State. They didn't have any ideology and pretty much it just came down to their own greed. It's because Jirai Laitanen adopted the nickname Fatal when he deserted the Navy. He is the main antagonist of our story. Jirai Laitanen was a gifted naval captain of the Caldari State. Laitanen was a greedy, narcissistic man, having been passed over for promotion. Teamed up with fellow captain Kurako Kiskami, they deserted the Navy, stealing ships and fleeing into a lawless sector of space to set up their own pirate faction known as the Guristas. After achieving great success and notoriety as head of the Guristas, Laitanen, now going by the name of Fatal, was killed, although he was revived through cloning technology. He was eventually thrown out of the Guristas and never heard from again. So everybody fought. Now onto our main protagonist. There is always one out there. Rand's is a complex and somewhat tragic tale. As a child growing up in a civilized, liberal and progressive thinking Gallente Federation, she faced a promising and happy future. An entire galaxy of opportunities laid out before her. An accomplished athlete and a player of combat simulators, Rand's life was happy and fulfilling, until fate dealt her an unfortunate hand. Political upheavals and the disgrace of her family name left Rand without a purpose, so she left home. Deciding not to be defeated, she changed her identity and enrolled into the Gallente Navy. Not so much out of patriotism, but more through the desire to determine her own path. A talent for leadership such as hers should have shone long and bright, but it was not to be. A brutal battle resulted in her death. A death, however, that was to be short-lived. In an intriguing twist, Rand found herself rescued, resurrected in fact, and her new cloned body was better than the form destroyed in what she thought was her final battle. Her saviour? Well, none other than Fatal, who, far from being gone, long and forgotten, had been building a technology advanced army of cloned pilots, the Schism. Fatal, then, was not only Rand's rescuer, but her redeemer and mentor. She devoted her talents to Fatal's cause. She had, for the time being, found a new home and a new purpose. But things were not quite as they seemed. Though Fatal's intentions appeared to be honourable, it became clear that his plan and the means by which he used to achieve his aims were anything but. Rand finds out, to her horror, that far from being rescued by Fatal, she had in fact been targeted and murdered with the sole intention of cloning her, so that her talents as a pilot could be used to further the ambitions of Schism. As a result, she breaks away from Fatal's organisation and creates her own opposing force of fighters, the Valkyrie. They are a fiercely independent group, determined to make their own mark on the galaxy and to ultimately seek revenge against Fatal's Schism. And this is where you come in, pilot. You are here to carry the name of Fatal or Rand into the battle space and forge your own destiny among the stars. Become the most revered pilot in New Eden. I won't go into any more. There are plentiful amount more lore in the forums, in the comics, and in the recall missions inside of Eve Valkyrie. Anything else I would say would be spoilers. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you didn't, feel free to hit that dislike button. That's what it's there for. Be sure to subscribe if you would like to keep updated on more videos Valkyrie related. This is TJ signing off, and thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Be excellent to each other, and fly safe.